So again, it was regards to the custody, the deaths, in custody, and also the issue with police prosecution, because the Ian Tomlinson case, for example, there's been no real charge against the police. They've again been set free.
Clearly, any death of anyone in police custody is a cause for concern, and an additional cause for concern has to be deaths of young black men in police custody. It's never to be condoned. It's a disgrace where it is happening, but we have, I believe, through the work of the early work of the Trust, the pioneering work of the Trust, and the tireless work by Doreen Lawrence in particular, has gone a long way, we think, to these sorts of incidents being unacceptable. So the riots last year were clearly wrong. One can understand in part why they may have occurred, but obviously working behind the scenes in the judiciary,
because people have been frustrated with the legal system, as even with the Ian Tomlinson case. So what can be done to improve the legal system so that people have due process rather than riots?
Yes, and it's about an increase in the number of black magistrates, it's an increase in the number of other members of the judiciary, solicitors, barristers, judges, changing the profile of a percentage populations in those professions has to be a good thing. More directly, we are now hosting an annual criminal justice lecture led by the Trust in partnership last year with Freshfields, probably the biggest legal practice in the world, aimed at educating those members of the community or our society who need that, but also proving again that issues relating to injustices vis-à-vis race must be stemmed, they must be stopped, and we must be sure they don't happen in the future.
Okay. And recently, just as a sort of test of how much progress we are really making, there was quite an uproar over the Voice being refused accreditation to attend the Olympic Stadium. What were your thoughts or the response in that situation? Obviously, I know that there was an overnight petition which resulted in them now getting the accreditation, but without a major campaign overnight on all fronts by all parties across the scope of all different races, that might not have been possible, and they would not have entered the Olympic Stadium. What was your feelings on that?
Well, of course, we registered our disquiet, our concern, our surprise at this turn of events. The point that you've made, which I would like to illustrate and amplify, is that it was changed, the decision was changed. The decision in principle not to allow this to happen was clearly problematic. The fact that common sense prevailed, and in fact the Voice has now been able to, as you say, enter as an accredited newspaper is good, and we must celebrate this, but remaining ever vigilant and, if necessary, making our voices heard about issues such as this.
And finally, one of the hearts of this place was to do with architecture. How does the situation with developing architecture with black youth has this trust contributed?
We have, we've supported over 100 young people to be educated and trained in architecture. 8 of those young people are now fully qualified architects. It's a 7-year process, so there's quite a commitment on both sides. So we're very proud of this. We want now to assist young black and minority ethnic people and others to enter various professions in the way that we have with architecture. So that's in terms of the media, the legal system, or the legal profession, finance, corporate finance, medicine, housing, and a whole range of others. But those are the principal professions we want to assist young black people with ambition, drive, and energy.
And you have resources here. What resources do you have and facilities in this building?
Well, interestingly, we have the building, of course, where we can host many activities and assist small businesses to grow and so on. But most of the work I've just described is being done in conjunction with corporates. So these are big multinational organisations which have the capacity to support us in our work, where we are giving them access to members of our community, and through joint support, joint mentoring and joint coaching, acting almost as the godparent, let's say, of young people, assisting them to develop and grow and believe that they can get to the very top. So we're not talking about lower echelons here. We're talking about partner level success, partner board level, which is what we're trying to achieve.
And finally, what does it... Well, thank you so much. Thank you.
You've got